Scizor and Scyther represent Unite's first true multi-class Pokemon. Today I'm here to talk about how we play both of these new additions. Starting with similarities. In the early game, Fury Cutter does damage in a cone twice, and Quick Attack is a dash that does damage. We will return to the level 5 options in a second, but at level 7 you can opt in a double hit. Double hit sends you jumping in a direction and you're going to mark enemies that you hit. After you hit an enemy with a jump, you dash out. From there, your next auto attack is a charge attack that will send you at the Pokemon you just dashed at. If you manage to knock out the Pokemon that is marked by this ability, all of your cooldowns are reset. The other level 7 option is Swords Dance. First, you're going to do a small dash that increases your attack. You then have 7 seconds to deal damage 8 times with either basic attacks or abilities. After doing this, your next basic attack is going to cause a sword to move out in a line that does damage. Finally, these Pokemon have the same passive, where after using an ability, your next basic attack hits twice, but the second hit does less damage. Let's talk about differences, starting with Scyther. Scyther's boosted attack does additional damage and increases your movement speed. And Scyther's second ability is called Dual Wing Beat. You are going to deal damage in an X. If you hit a Pokemon in the center of this X, it's going to heal Scyther. Whenever this move hits any enemy, it can then be activated again. This second activation is a long dash that deals damage. Scyther's Unite move is a lock-on dash that sends out 5 green copies of himself. These copies deal damage and mark an enemy for 5 seconds. For 5 seconds after casting this move, you can recast the Unite move in order to see Scyther dash to an end location. After dashing, all of the illusory copies are going to collapse on Scyther's final location. Once Scyther dashes, all the copies are going to move towards Scyther's end location. If they hit an enemy Pokemon, they are going to deal damage and disappear. If an enemy that you marked using this ability gets knocked out, all of Scyther's cooldowns are reset. Now for Scizor. Scizor's boosted attack decreases enemy movement speed and increases Scizor's defense. Scizor's level 5 option is Bullet Punch. You do a small dash and then a series of punches come out in a circle. These punches deal damage and heal Scizor. Once you use this move the first time, an internal 8-second timer is created. If you use this ability again within that 8-second period, the number of punches and therefore the amount of damage and healing is going to increase. Scizor's Unite move is similar but different. You're going to do an auto lock dash that creates 5 illusory copies. If a copy hits an enemy well on the way out, it's going to deal damage and slow them. For the next 8 seconds, you may use this move again to dash, but this time the dash is going to scoop all enemy Pokemon that you hit and drag them with you. If you drag an enemy into one of your clones, they're going to take additional damage and be stunned for 2 seconds. Now that we've managed to get all the abilities out of the way, let's talk about the differences between these two Pokemon. Scizor's boosted attack increases defenses. This means that Pokemon that rely on auto attacks or physical abilities are going to struggle to do damage to Scizor. Meanwhile, Scyther is an agile speedster-like Pokemon. This Pokemon's damage output is a lot higher and you are a lot squishier. The strength of this unit is being able to choose which version of the Pokemon you want once you've already seen the enemy's team composition. If you notice, there's a lot of enemy attackers that rely on auto attacks. Moving into a Scizor so that you can dive them and make space for your team is probably a good option. But if you notice the enemy team uses a lot of special attack based abilities, being able to weave in there and use Scyther to take them off the board might be the better play. My preferred moveset for Scizor is Bullet Punch with Swords Dance. This gives Scizor the ability to pack a punch. Your Bullet Punch is going to be able to quickly stack up Swords Dance, which is going to allow you to deal that damage in a relatively short order. For Scyther, honestly, either option is good. Double hit is great if you want to be able to weave around and confuse the enemy in fights, whereas Swords Dance just gives you more damage as you're going around and doing your thing. Another word of advice is to never use your abilities back to back. You should always be weaving in an auto attack so that you're making the most out of your passive. And that's the basics for how to play Scizor and Scyther in Pokemon Unite. If you got value out of this video, subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be making more Pokemon Unite content soon. Otherwise, click that video on your screen to be taken to another video. Wherever you are, have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.